Acacia trees, growing all over the African savanna, have a natural security system. When an animal starts to gobble up acacia leaves, the tree starts to produce more tannin, to the levels that are toxic to animals. Then the tree emits ethylene gas. This cloud reaches other trees and warns them about the danger so they can begin to produce their own tannin. Blue jays mimic hawks, especially the red-shouldered hawk, to fool other birds into believing there's danger nearby. Blue jays also rub ants against their feathers before gobbling them up to get rid of the insect's acid. Your earlobes become longer as you age because of gravity. It causes them to stretch, sag, and look as if they're growing. Trained pigeons can distinguish between Pablo Picasso's and Claude Monet's paintings. And if they sit on a stool while they paint, well, you can kind of guess their nicknames. Bubbles can help you keep the water in your bath warmer for longer. They serve as a kind of insulation and reduce heat loss. Some penguins propose to females by giving them a perfect, in their opinion, pebble. Humans use a different kind of pebble. Foreign accent syndrome is a real, although extremely rare, condition. It can be caused by a brain injury. People who have this condition start speaking in their native language with a foreign accent. Other elements, like copper, zirconium, lead, and so on. Grizzly bears have such a strong bite that they can crush a bowling ball. That's why you almost never see grizzly bears bowling. One bamboo species holds the world record for being the fastest growing plant on Earth. It grows 35 inches per day. Scientists discovered 14 new species of dancing frogs in 2014, raising the total number to 24. Maybe they could do a revival of a chorus line. The largest city in the world is Tokyo. It has a population of 38.5 million people. That's 4.5 times more than the population of Switzerland and more than twice bigger than the population of the Netherlands. The ampersand symbol was formed from two letters, E and T. ET is the Latin word for "and". Spider silk is 5 times as strong as steel of the same weight. Researchers claim that a spider silk rope 2 inches thick could stop a flying Boeing 747. Your finger can feel objects as tiny as your hair width. In other words, if your finger was the size of our planet, you'd be able to tell the difference between cars and houses. Up to 85% of all the oxygen on Earth is produced in the world's oceans by tiny creatures called phytoplankton. They are so small it's hard to see them without a microscope. Living near the surface, they convert sunlight into energy. The byproduct of this process is oxygen. One person in 10,000 has a condition called situs inversus. That's when an internal organ is reversed or mirrored from its usual position. In most cases, it's a complete right-to-left reversal of all abdominal organs. The tardigrade, also known as the water bear, is a microscopic creature that's famous for its survival skills. It can live through extreme temperatures from 300 to minus 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and the pressure that's 6 times stronger than at the ocean floor. The creature can also survive in a complete vacuum. Tardigrades sometimes spend almost 10 years without food. Archaeologists have discovered some evidence that proves there were takeout restaurants in Pompeii. If you couldn't escape the volcano's eruption in time, then you were eating in. When you try to remember something in the past, you don't recall the original event. You actually remember the last time you thought of it. The chevrotain, also known as mouse deer, is a tiny animal that looks like a miniature deer with fangs. When you sleep, your brain is getting cleaned. Special fluid flushes through it and washes away dangerous toxins and harmful proteins that have built up there during the day. Saturn could float in water because the planet is a gas giant and is less dense than water. Your brain accounts for 2% of your body weight. At the same time, It uses up to 20% of all the oxygen and calories your body consumes. Because of warmer weather, more turtles are born female than male. Chihuahuas have the biggest brain in the dog world, relative to their body size, of course. If a guinea pig, especially a baby, gets excited, it starts popcorning. It means that the animal begins to hop up in the air, which looks like a kernel of popcorn in a microwave. When you lose weight, your fat cells don't just disappear into thin air. They also slim down and become smaller. It works the other way around too. When you gain weight, your fat cells grow in size as well. There are more than 24 time zones in the world. It means they aren't exactly 1 hour apart from each other. Many time zones have just a 30 to 45-minute difference from their neighbors. Without your pinky finger, your hand would lose almost half of its strength. The pinky is critical for a strong grip. Graphite in pencils is a super soft mineral. It has to be mixed with a clay binder to keep its form while you're writing. But at the same time, graphite contains the same atoms as one of the hardest materials on Earth, diamonds. Your mind wanders 30% of the time while you're doing your day-to-day tasks. When you're walking or driving along a deserted highway, it might be even more, up to 70% of the time. With their teeny bodies and long tails, elephant shrews may resemble small rodents or opossums, but they're actually more closely related to real elephants than shrews. Sign language is an official language in 41 countries. There are up to 300 sign languages, including International Sign Language.